And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're going to be taking a look at Gum Gum Machine. Now I'm not sure exactly what a Gum Gum is. It's some sort of candy here. You're just going to be running this and out comes a Gum Gum. And so this game's all about running a machine, which sounds really fascinating, especially since this game has so many different setups. Let me show you. First thing you want to do is you're going to put the machine together, and this game has quite a few different ways to do it. Like for example, this square here, there's some stuff printed on the board, but you can also use this piece and stick it in here and then fasten that in place. Or here I might stick this piece in this way and then fasten that into place. Here there's a spin wheel. I can put it on the other side. On these, there are different things I can put. I can put the numbers differently at the top. So basically, there's different ways you can set the machine up each time. Now, once you have the machine set up, you're going to reach into a bag, and you're basically going to load up all these spots on the board with different Gum Gum pieces. Now, the Gum Gums are made up of different colors, except for black. Black is actually not part of the Gum Gum. Black is the lid of the Gum Gums. And there has to be at least 3 blacks visible on the board to start, which, as you can see, there most definitely is. You're also going to load this section over here up with Gum Gums. There we go. Okay, so there's also other random factors of setting the board up. There's different switch numbers you put here. And so on your turn, you're going to run the machine. Now when you run the machine, you're going to move this to one of the colors. You'll then pick this up to see what number that color is, 1. That means you're going to activate switch 1. Now I cannot tell from the rules if you're supposed to memorize which numbers are there. I guess you are, although I don't really see the point of it, but whatever. So you pick switch 1. So switch 1's down here. I move switch 1, and then I run the pipe that it's connected to. So green, I run into here. I'm going to take one of these, so I'll take a yellow one, and that gets added to a pile in front of me. I can only take one, so then I keep going. Over here, I'm going to pick one of these and slide it to the other side. When I do so, I'm going to you can see here, this activates the spinner now. Now, my game didn't come with a spinner. So we just used a die and we said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I would roll one of these, 5. And so everyone else has to give me either a gray or a blue. And that's it. I'm done. And then we go on to the next person's turn. And so they're going to flip a switch. If they had flipped switch 1, you can see they'd flip it here into red. So it goes into this machine where they're going to, oops, I have this on upside down. They go into this machine, and they're going to run through the red pipe here, and so they can take the green or the gray. So maybe they take the gray. When they take the gray, underneath it is a cog, and that cog, the cog doesn't do anything unless you take a piece off and the cog's there. At that point, you then shoot over here to this cog and go down this pipe down here. So I don't want the gray, but I do want the blue. Oh, another cog, so it shoots me back up here to the cog. Coming down, taking the yellow. Oh, the yellow here means I got to run the chute. Over here, I run the chute, I grab a random Gum Gum from the bag, I push it in, and I get a piece from the chute, if possible. So over time, you're going to be building this Gum Gum in front of you. Now, anytime you go through a spot where there's a black lid, you can put that on, and you finish your Gum Gum. There are these 2 pieces here, depending on if you want to play a fast game. Yes. And then you just simply, or a longer game, you put it here, and it shows you how many points you get. So this one here would give me 4 points. And then you score those points with your gears up here, and you keep going. Essentially, that's how the game works. There's different parts of the machines. There's different spinners. Some spinners will cause pressure on the black lid. Some will cause different parts of the machinery to work. There are these spinners up here. When you use one of those, you simply move it, and something will happen. In this case, you'll be stealing from other players. Over here in this one, you'll activate different parts of the machine. The pipes will change and different things will change underneath them. And when you take these off the board, they're not refilled until someone takes a lid. When someone takes a lid, then all the gum-gums in the bag are shuffled and more come out and replace the ones that are on the board. The first person to get to 30 points is the winner of the game. One of the problems the game has, the rules are very vague, and they try to do this funny thing of, hey, I'm Professor D, and I'm talking to you now, and you should do this. And this is back and forth between these two crazy professors, but there are like some major things that were not quite so clear. Like, for example, do you have to memorize those numbers at the beginning of the game or just guess what they are? And if so, why? And I guess that memory aspect, I should touch on that because that's really evident in the game. If the numbers are memory-based, well, okay, people have better memories, you remember which numbers where. But the other stuff definitely is memory-based, where you have the different symbols that are underneath gum-gums, you gotta remember what symbols where, because you're shooting down, you're like, ooh, that's a good pipe to run, I'll run that one. You come halfway down, oh, you've been rerouted to this pipe, and now you're going to somewhere completely different. So the idea of the machine itself is really fascinating. Go here, go up through this pipe, push the piece down, spin the spinner. That all sounds really cool, and it is, except partially it's random because you don't know what pieces are going to come up. There's that memory element that's underneath them, and in the long run, as neat as it is, I mean, the part where you push the pieces through, that's like the coolest part. Other than that, the spinner and the other stuff, it's just not that exciting. It sounds cooler than it actually is. The idea of running a machine is fun. You sit there and you go, I'll pick switch 3 and okay, cool. I'll pick switch 4. And you're trying to find the most efficient switch to get, but you really can't think before your turn. Because you might say, oh, I'm going to do that, but I got to wait till Billy Bob goes and then Sue Ann. And, you know, the game is a max of 4 players, but it's probably best at 2 because with 4, you have 3 other people going before you go, and you might as well just, you don't know, the machine might be reset. You don't know where all the switches are going to be. You can't use the same switch that was just you, so you don't know if Sally Ann is going to use switch 3, well then you can't even use switch 3 anyway. And so because of that, that kind of bogs the game down to some degree, because you sit there, okay, it's your turn, start thinking now. And this game will be much better thinking ahead of the turn. It's a cool idea. I love the idea of pressing a button, and the switches move, and you go through here, and glug, 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 and you know, that's a cool thing. And maybe as a computer game, it would be pretty neat to press a button and see the stuff go through and go, ah. And it wasn't a bad game per se. It's just that I felt like it was trying to offer so much more. I mean, I have all these pieces here that I could stick on the board, but they really don't change the game that much. There's a, you know, neat machinery, but they all kind of do pretty much the same thing. So it's a really neat idea, but in practice becomes fairly forgettable. So I wanted to like this one a lot. The idea's a nifty one. Maybe next time there will be a deeper game inside. Dice Tower Judgment, really cool ideas, but more of a novelty than a fun game.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool Shut the door! Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.